I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like. What's up, everybody? Come on in. Invite others to join you. We're gonna have a little extravaganza. Salute.
Last night, me and my dogs were hanging out.
It's a little bit of mood music, a little vibe band. As we invite folks to come on in and have a little fun. This little impromptu thing.
Off for work today, so it's alright.
It would be funny if you found out that was true. Peace.
Dancing with this bottle chair. And every record became
might be trying.
Song. And that is all that I remember. 'Cause I had one too many drinks. And ended up at the embassy.
Yes, indeed. What's up, everybody? Come on in, invite somebody to join you. Have a little bit of fun tonight, hang out a little bit.
It was a one-night extravaganza. When I woke up from last night's lavatory,
who sent me this video?
Baby girl was laying next to me. Shoes and clothes were scattered everywhere.
Todd, Nate. Thank you, Todd, for this video. And as I started watching, I was like, we got some fun with this.
And now I'm telling my story to you. Everything that I remember. 'Cause I had one too many drinks.
Uncle Nearest.
And ended up at the embassy.
Yes.
From Washington, D.C. It was one night I remember being at the bar, trying to ask what that hypno hit for, knowing I can't afford to get more. When here's a broke brother,
they're about to hit a home run on this track.
Leave the club now, do like I did. Come back when you get dough.
Great reminder about the benefits of live music.
We messing with Grammys, we messing with
Here we go.
You messing with that drink you drink. Plus you bumping on the sink. In the morning you gon' draw a blank. The hotel said y'all was on one.
Go ahead, vibe, man.
I picked the wrong one. She said he talking about I ain't like them other girls. Well tonight, I'm trying to find them other girls. Bring your own rubber girl. Never beat your mother girl. You know they love it when you
all right.
they know they love it.
I love this track, man. Extravaganza by the Vibe Band. Shout out to DC Vibe. All right, good people. Let's go ahead and this joint is hilarious. So peace to all the remixers who could jump in here live with us tonight. And those who will see and hear this later, peace, of course, and welcome to you. But let's go ahead and have a little fun. I had never seen this guy before, never heard of this guy before. Absolutely. The interview earlier with Joy James was dope. And I even thought it was live. I got caught up in it. And thank you for the and please do check out the Killer Mike joint later on. It's peace. So this is what my 20-year-old self is definitely feeling this way about how sad it is that this is such an exciting Saturday night for me. I love hanging out with you all, but watching this video, I just watched like 3 minutes of it. It's only like 8 minutes. I only made it to the first 3 minutes before I was like, man, this is so absurd. I actually started taking notes and was thinking, oh man, but I was like, this isn't serious enough for that. So let's have a little bit of fun. I don't have much going on. And really, let me tell you the real reason why I'm doing this. Because my oldest is going to a party, and I'm not ready for that. So to keep my mind off of that, let's get into something silly. All right, here we go. Let's just pull this up here. This guy here. I don't know anything about this guy. All right. Never heard of this guy. But this joint is funny. So let's start. Am I not able to play it from here? All right, hold on. All right, here we go.
Today I'm going to be discussing the Jewish circular economy. A lot of people have said that Jewish people are good at business. Now, instead of me calling this anti-Semitism, I'm going to double down and say, heck yeah, we're good at business. Let me teach you some of the secrets that we've accumulated over the past 3,000 years, this being one of the biggest and baddest secrets that we have.
So hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I actually wanted to stop it there, but for some reason, I'm not getting my... Oh, wow. They added... My bad, everybody. Look at what So we got some new features apparently, but that showed up while I was, I guess, in between. Anyway, so the first thing I was going to say, but that was new layout. Oh, what? Okay. All right. Hold on. My bad, everybody. I probably, like, just in the last 5 minutes after, I guess, refreshing, I went in and out of the studio, and they must have done an update in that 5 minutes. So anyway, I did want to stop it there because this is sort of the point that I was trying to make during all the Kanye, Kyrie, all the Jews, all that kind. If we're not getting any honest discussion about what's going on. So this guy is already starting off with some nonsense. So because instead of saying that popular discussions of why Jews are involved with business is anti-Semitic or anti-Jewish, and then working backwards from that to explain how Jews ended up in this certain sector of the economy. And this is going to be big because even in the first 3 minutes, he already starts laying out a whole bunch of mythology. He just doubles down and says, no, we are good at business. And then as he goes into this, and this video already has, like, this video is when did this come out? It's 3 months ago. It's got 670,000 views. So, and when people watch this and he's saying we're doubling down, so I can't run it from here. Oh, that's terrible. Why would they? So the new, I hate when updates make things worse. Present. No, it's not letting me run it from here like it was supposed to. Anyway, all right. So, but instead of saying, in other words, adding substance to explain to people where these myths and stereotypes end up with. Oh no, that's my bad. No, that's an old. I've been had that. Yeah. Anyway, but if instead of breaking down and explaining the mythology, he just says, as he says there, I'm just going to double down and dive right into it, and that's not helpful. That doesn't help. Because then he starts to set it up as Jews are somehow specially gifted and specially talented and specially insular and specially this and specially that, as opposed to that's not really what's going on, or what has gone on. And then also, instead of, well, we'll see.
Because that's when it's going to all start to make sense. and you're going to be able to apply this not only to yourself, but your community and everybody around you. My name is Beryl Solomon. If this is your first time on my page,
See, so that's another, that's also mythology. That's the point. So again, so instead of avoiding this idea that Jews are somehow particularly special and different and this, that, and the third, he doubles down, as he says, on it. And then he goes farther to say, but not only are we special, we're going to show you how you can do the same thing. But again, if you are special, if you do have a particular experience, which in fact Jews do, then why not make the point of saying that Jews may have been able to do certain things, which is the self-misunderstood, maybe we'll come back to that, but you can't do it because you're not us. You're not, and not in a negative way, but to say that only that Jews were only able to do what Jews have been able to do because of the particular relationship Jews have to this country. And I don't think, again, that that's something that all of us not only can do, but should want to do. But anyway, that's why I was like, man.
Please hit the subscribe button. Please leave me a like. Please leave me a comment so that we could be connected more often. Let's jump in. The Jewish circular economy. Let me explain to you how this works. So there's a few core businesses that Jewish people are involved in. Let me first explain to you what type of businesses we go into. So one is, it's a business that has to make a lot of money. To be Jewish, it's expensive. I myself.
So for a second, I thought, hold up, he might actually get there. That I thought he might actually get there to say, well, what kind of business? Because then if you talk about the sectors of the economy that Jews are in, you could talk about the specific history Jews have had that have led them to be in these sectors of the economy. And then you could also explain why others can't do it. But he doesn't do that. So he just says something ridiculous like it's expensive to be a Jew, and therefore we only go into businesses that make money. What does that mean? Other people, what is it? So what is it? Other people are so foolish that they willfully go to set up businesses that won't make money. I mean, what a novel idea.
Myself, thank God, have 5 kids, and hopefully I'll have more than 5 more. It's expensive to be a Jew, and we need to make a lot of money. So that's number one.
Whatever he has 5 kids, and only Jews have children. Only Jews have a bunch of kids. Joy.
We go into has to be lucrative. Number 2, it has to be moral. It is very rare, if ever, actually I can almost guarantee this, you will never find an Orthodox Jewish man in the strip club business. Yes, he makes a lot of money, but it is not a moral business. Let's talk about some businesses that do make a lot of money and are moral. So let's just talk about like real estate, for example.
This is a troll, right? Like we're going to look into his website and he's going to have a whole bunch of subscribers because this is like a parody thing, right? Is Todd Make in the chat? So strip clubs are beneath Jews. They're amoral. But real estate is where you will find the morality in business. So that's where, in places like New York, you get the Trump family building all that good real estate. And what was the guy that lost who lost right, because he was a Jew. So the former owner of the Clippers, what was his name, who got in all that trouble because of his real estate dealings? That's what this is, right? That's what this is, right? It is, right? Because what was his name from the Clippers? Donald Sterling. Thank you. That was that morality in real estate. That's hilarious.
Okay, let's call real estate one of the core businesses. So here's the circular economy explained. So a Jewish man gets a real estate deal. Let's call it 200 units in the Bronx, okay, somewhere, right? And he buys.
Hold up, man. Hold up, man. It's just a regular thing. You know what I mean? 200 units in the Bronx. You know, it's just a regular thing. Anybody does it. He gets a real estate deal. How does he get a real estate deal? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He just gets one. So start there, everybody. Get your 200 unit Bronx real estate deal, and then we can pick up with the circular
Why is the
economy
deal?
there.
First of all, the deal most likely is probably coming from a Jewish broker or one of his other Jewish friends in the real estate business. So once he secures that deal, he needs to go finance that deal. So who's the first logical person for him to pick up the phone to? A Jewish friend that is in finance, right? There's Jewish people that own banks, there's Jewish mortgage brokers, there's Jewish lenders out there. He's going to pick up the phone and he's going to call his buddy that he sees in synagogue every day, because his buddy knows that he's a good guy, he trusts him, and he knows that if spit hits the fan, he knows exactly where he sits, exactly where his house is, exactly who to talk to make sure he could get through to him. So
what's fun, funny is that all of the literature says this about that this is basically true, that not specific to Jews, but whites in general. And when all the banking literature that I've looked at talks about why Black people don't do as well, one of the primary components is always this trust factor, and that white proximity to white makes white trust white and therefore lend to white. That's always part of it. But again, he's skipping all of these steps. He's talking about the circular economy and how Jews circulate money within the Jewish community, but skipping how Jews have gotten to the position where they just get 200 unit real estate deals in the Bronx, and they just end up in the positions of banking and finance and lending and all this other stuff. He's skipping all of that. So where exactly is anyone else supposed to be able to do any of this? And then, by the way, I'm guessing, because we're about where I ended up stopping it, I'm guessing he's not going to say anything about what the actual economic condition is of Jews and what class distinctions there exist within the Jewish community, and to what extent any other number of things that have put Jews in this position cannot be duplicated by any other group, and specifically not by Black people. But anyway,
Jewish businessman is going to buy the piece of real estate. He's going to want to finance it with one of his Jewish buddies, and now he's going to have to service that piece of real estate, right? Yeah. There's snow removal, there's cleaning supplies, there's construction that's going to need to be done. All of those, he's going to try to hire Jewish people and Jewish companies in order to try to fulfill this. Yeah. I'm going to explain to you all why. It's going to make sense to you, like I said, by the end, but you got to stick to the end.
Stick around to the end.
So now he's hired his buddies to do the construction, like I said, to do the remodeling, to do the construction supplies. Whatever it is, he's going to try to hire Jewish. And now those companies, so for example, like as I mentioned, the construction company, right? That construction company also needs services. The construction company needs accounting, it needs advertising, it needs office space, it needs all types of ancillary services. So even the supporting, the direct services to the real estate, the supporting service, right? The construction company, we're just using one of them for example, he is going to try to hire Jewish people to do his indirect services. He's going to hire a Jewish business accountant. He's going to try to hire a Jewish lawyer. He's going to try to rent his office space from his buddy Shlomo, who owns the office building right next to his synagogue. You see what I mean? He's going to try to give that business to those people.
Everybody's got a Shlomo. Don't you have a Shlomo that you can see at your neighborhood event and know can...
And by the way, all the while, all of these people all along the way, guess what they're all doing? Circular economy. They're taking tithes. They're taking at least 10% of their earnings, of their profits, and they're pushing it down to charity. So that means, and by the way, their own charities, their own synagogues, their own.
You know what? I forgot to make, you know what? Killer Mike makes this point in his Greenwood video that I forgot to make in my response, that the Greenwood bank effort, according to Killer Mike, is meant to supplant the predatory check cashing hustles that take the, as Killer Mike said, the tithing percentages that should go back to the community and to Black businesses. So he's saying the Greenwood Bank Initiative is meant to take over that. So the fees that would have gone, the 10% that would have gone to the check casher place or the liquor store where you cash your check will now go to the Greenwood Initiative, and that will somehow redistribute back to the Black community. But the big difference is, of course, the Black community doesn't have Black bankers, financiers, construction companies, accounting firms, et cetera, and so forth, to circulate the dollar. And of course, what so far, and he may break it down in the last few minutes, but so far, this guy, what he does not say is how none of this is how Jews have accumulated wealth. This is not how the wealth that Jews do have was accumulated. It's okay. Anyway, so.
Own schools, their own food banks, their own disability centers. Why? Because they want to create this circular economy. Now, let me tell you why. You might be watching it this far. You might say to yourself, how is it fair? Why is it okay that they can do this, that we can do this? First of all, not only is it okay, but you're going to understand why and how you could apply this to yourself and your community going forward. So let me give you some reasons why a circular economy is good for you. So number one is, this is probably the biggest one, trust. Everybody in this circle, okay? If he has a problem with, let's say the real estate guy has a problem with the company that's supplying to him his supplies, his cleaning supplies for his building. And he has a dispute, right? So he ordered $10,000 worth of garbage bags. The garbage bags turned up faulty. Now they have a problem. So he knows.
But not exactly, in the sense that and I get your point, Chitty Macha, but that's not exactly, again, no one's wealth was developed or enhanced in this way. No, so I get your point, but I just want to be clear that he's wealth. Yeah, no one's wealth is developed by this sort of circular, we spend it with each other type thing. It's made through policy. It's made through investing in a global market. It's made through extraction and exploitation, through suppressing competition, through conquering markets, through, that's how it's done. There is, maybe yes, there are hookups, and there are, when certain, when a certain business, for instance, can capture the policy apparatus and get tariff and trade agreements to benefit it. That's where maybe the circular, maybe that's a better way of, maybe I need to start thinking of it that way too. Maybe a better way to critique the circular concept is to say, no, the real circulation is between elite policy makers and the corporations that lobby them, and then the policy that redistributes all the wealth that all of us create for everybody up to that 1/10 1%. That's the circulation, not this insular group circulating it within each other. This is why, to the extent that internationally there is diversity in a ruling class, because everybody knows that there has to be some degree of exchange beyond one's group for your own group to evolve. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. I think you understood that, but I just felt compelled to make that point. But yeah,
the real estate operator knows that if he has a problem with any of the people that he's doing business with because they are Jewish. They have common friends, they have common rabbis, they have common associates, and they will be embarrassed to screw each other. They won't mess each other up because they go to synagogue with each other. They go to school, their kids go to school with each other.
So this is such complete nonsense for, so I already put in the show description. So one thing I did know to do in advance was that I put in the show description a link to, among other things, all of the discussions I had with Professor Roan Frazier about Neal Gabler's work, for instance, because in that work, just on this point alone, never mind all the other myths that are exploded in just that, Gabler talks about how Jews from the same country, the same background, the same neighborhood, in similar and the same and related businesses sought to destroy each other in competition, sought to sell each other out to make deals with Gentiles if it thought it would give them the leg up over someone else. So again, none of them got their wealth by circulating anything among each other or just among even Jews within the Hollywood developing industry. They all had to all of the ones who survived and did well made deals with Gentiles and other areas of the economy, because that's how you have to invest here and bring in wealth from here. You have to make deals over here. That's how it works. And yes, they couldn't wait to undercut one another. So this idea, and they would see each other. They lived in the same I forgot what they were calling, but the Jewish Beverly Hills in California when they moved Hollywood out west and created their own Jewish Beverly Hills. They were all in the same country club that they created for each other, having been kept out of the Gentile spots, and they couldn't wait to get at each other if it meant outdueling one another for in that business. So this is just absurd, this idea that just because they're going to see each other,
so they're going to be very careful in order to treat each other with respect and dignity. So trust is the number one thing. Here's another thing. They think the same. Okay?
Yeah, word.
A lot of times, I'll get on the phone with people from different cultures.
Everybody
I remember
does.
when I was in...
Once you put any group into a barrel where they're not supposed to be, they end up acting like that. Yeah, absolutely.
I was the vice president of my college, and I remember people think different. We had somebody who represented the LGBT community. We had somebody who represented the African American community. We had somebody who represented the Chinese community in the school. We had the evangelical community. All of us came to the table. We were trying to make policies. And I remember we all thought very different. We all had different priorities. So they're creating this circular economy. Why? Because they think the same. And then number three is,
but capitalists,
because they're a big family. We are a big family.
Imperialists,
right? So it makes sense that you should want to see the people around you succeed. It makes sense that you should want to give the business to your brother, to your neighbor, to your cousin, to your uncle. Why? Because we are taught in Judaism, and I see a lot of communities, they don't understand this, and they have to get better at this. We want to see each other succeed. We want to see each other grow, because we understand, check this out, and it's all going to start to make sense, right? I told you to watch to the end. We understand that if we're all doing well, the excess flow of all this money gets pushed down back into the community charities. So when my neighbor, my Jewish neighbor, does well, and he's making a lot of money, and he now is going to donate that money to my kid's school, right? Let's say that's one of his charities, right? He's going to donate that money to my kid's school. That's good for me. My kid's going to have new whiteboards, new blackboards. He's going to have new equipment, new gyms, new whatever it is. So I want to push money, and I want to push business towards people in my...
So again, another thing being left out of this is the class element. And that's... So what he just said there is absurd. Maybe his most recent book notwithstanding, if you go back and read almost everything else from Norman Finkelstein it includes some version of an element of a class analysis of the Jewish community and how it works against itself, whether it's the Holocaust industry or all of his work on the Palestine-Israeli occupation of Palestine. It involves some element of a class discussion that involves, just as is the case everywhere, elite Jews ripping off and abusing other Jews for the benefit of their own class interests. So this guy is, so this is, and I get it. I can see why this is popular. I can see all of the versions of this that mythology that spill over into Black spaces. This is just, I mean, we all want to be friends. We all look out for each other. I mean, get the hell out of here. I mean, and if I even wanted to get really anecdotal for a moment, and I get it, it's not analysis, and there's a lot of other, whatever, but when in need, when desperate, when having lost her health care and her social security and her every penny and her apartment and everything, there was no help from the local Jewish elderly community homes, et cetera, and so forth for my mother. There was no trickle down charity that was made available to her based on her being a Jew. So this is complete garbage. Anyway, let me just keep going.
Economy in my community. Why? Because my community directly benefits, and when my community is doing good, I benefit from that doing good. So this is not unique, by the way, to the Jewish community. I don't care what sect you're from. I don't care what religion, what race. Everybody could establish this circular community. I hope this brought you value. If it did,
it didn't. Okay, Todd Meg, thanks for that. I'm not gonna lie, until just till that little bit at the end, I was really enjoying it. Now let me get back on my square a little bit. That was a little irritated there a little bit, but yeah, I don't see where this is exposed as he doesn't do any last minute. This is a parody in Psych. This is, I'm not even sure what this guy's hustle is, but that was crazy. That was crazy. I just lost a thought I had, but anyway, yeah, basura. Yeah, I mean, it's I'm not really sure. I mean, he starts off by literally saying, I'm going to double down into a stereotype. And by the way, Sounds of St. Elsewhere, I got your email, and I think we might just have to do another one of these for that, because you have a lot to say there. So I'll let you know. So if you might want to pop up with us, you'd be welcome to do that. But yeah. Yeah, this got to be, I mean, but it had almost 670,000 views in 3 months. Damn. That's a lot of people watching that stuff right there, boy. That joint was, but I don't know exactly what my thought was going to be. I did lose it, but I guess I'll just start to wrap up by saying, because just in case, unless somebody has a comment or a question, or if anybody actually wants to jump up here and bring something up, I don't know, but I might mess with this thing, this little setup here for a second too. But I'll sort of end with what I began with, that it's frustrating for me to see stuff like this, because obviously he as he admits, he wants to, he's leaning into stereotypes and not adding any substance or depth to it. There's no accuracy in the analysis. There's no historical explanation. Maybe I should just go and look a little harder for stuff that makes more of the argument that I'm interested in seeing. But like, nothing to explain why Jews, or how Jews, to the extent that Jews have, ended up in certain areas of the economy and others in other areas of the economy. Jews ending up in certain positions of power in finance or real estate or Hollywood or whatever, and black people ending up somewhere else. Neither is the cause of either group being better or worse innately, or better or worse inherently, or better or worse biblically. It's based on the particulars, the nuance of history, and can't be duplicated, and the roles can't be reversed given the history that has occurred. So black people can't do what Jews have done. No other group could do what Jews have done. Most Jews can't do what Jews have done. So there it is. That's it. All right, I hear you. I got you. I got you. Uh, and I haven't looked too closely, but what I did see, I think it will be. I'm sure it will be fruitful. So yeah, we had a lot of BPM today. Right on. Right on. Yeah, David Harvey, a better circular diagram. I once tried to reach out to him. I never heard back from. At least I didn't hear a no. But that online class, I should find it and do it again, where you could take the whole semester's worth of his discussing capital was brilliant and very helpful. I still don't pretend to understand everything in it, but it was great. Yeah, that documentary is based on Neal Gabler's book. It is good, but it's based on the book. So in the show description below, you'll see me and Professor Frazier discussing chapter by chapter that whole book from Gabler. And I think it actually was very helpful. I thought it was a very fruitful exercise. But yeah, that documentary is good, and the documentary does what the book does. I mean, it shows you how, first of all, these elite Jews didn't like each other, were constantly getting at each other. Most of them didn't even want to be Jews. I mean, there's all kinds of I mean, it's just, I mean, they so. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I had a good time doing that. It was a good exercise. So anyway, good people, it's been fun. It's been a good day here on BPM. Shout out to you, Big Teal. Yeah, appreciate that. But anyway, more coming tomorrow. Who knows what might happen tomorrow? And then Monday is so I will say this: Minister Server was going to be on with me tomorrow because he has a different take on the whole hip hop museum controversy. But he and maybe some others wanted to wait and come on later on after Monday's protest and press conference at City Hall in New York. I'm tempted to go up there. I'm tempted to go up there. No, thank you. But anyway, so Minister Server and maybe others will be joining me at some point. And then I watched some of Hassan Campbell's live tonight. And if he would just stay in his lane, it would be great. When he keeps going into all of these Illuminati and all kinds of weird stuff, but when he stays in his lane, he was really strong for the few minutes I watched tonight, where he was talking about what he said. He said, y'all gave $20 million to my molester in terms of funding that museum. Ooh. And he goes into a lot of detail. I mean, a lot of very uncomfortable detail, and says a lot of, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to that. So stay tuned. But anyway, Sundays with ear doctors tomorrow. I'm not sure what else might end up happening, but yeah. Because Hassan Campbell is very and then so Ron Savage, aka Beast Stinger, who at one point was supposed to have been one of Afrika Bambaata's victims, left a comment on the interview I did with Rosa the other day and accused us of some, not good things. And I invited him to email me and he could come on. I haven't heard from him yet. But Hassan Campbell said tonight that Savage, aka B Stinger, took money to change his story, and that's why he now defends Bambaataa and is the reason why Bambaataa has not officially been indicted, because Savage changed his story and apparently they didn't have enough to go build the case that they wanted to build, something like that. So yeah, Hassan. I mean, it's wild. It is. Yeah, it's gross and just horrible. But my thing is, I have no problem with the interview we did with Rosa, and I'm open to talk with others as well. So, but anyway, good people, peace if you're willing to fight for it, like Fred Hampton used to say. Let's get past some of these mythologies. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to be friends. We don't have to hang out. I'm not a hand holding, I like my nationalisms, but let's at least not work. Let's at least not like each other on the basis of accuracy. Let's at least let the animosity be based on something real. And then if we do get past some of this mythology, then maybe some radical unity can take place here or there where it's necessary and where it's beneficial. But this stuff of people just, I mean, we just out here making stuff up. People just out here just saying whatever and getting 670,000 views in 3 months. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go finish this nearest and enjoy the rest of my evening. I hope you all do the same. I will catch you in the whirlwind with Daruba and Garvey and them, and peace if you're willing to fight for it. Like Fred said, if I missed something or if you got something to say, definitely
put it in the comments.
And keep me from being...
It's wrong, bro.
And I'll catch you next time. Peace, everybody. Only if you're willing to fight for it. Thanks.
I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like.